Shalom. It's December the 4th, 2025. Boy, the year is quickly coming to an end. I just want to do a quick report today. Try and keep it as short as I can. But there's just been a lot going on. The tensions here in Israel beneath the surface, even though most people try to maintain a smile and a positive perspective. Deep down inside, we know this war is not over. We know that our enemies hate us just as much as today as they ever did, and that we're watching some so-called master of the deal maker trying to convince everybody that we're all really just good friends, and as long as Israel bites and eats the bait, Islam is happy. Because when people start thinking everything's A-OK, security disappears, the defensive mode that we've been in, it's not a good way to live, but it's part of our reality. And the truth is there are terror attacks daily, some of them murderous and causing death and severe mutilation. And yeah, it's just we're being forced to deny what's really going on. Jeremiah, I think it's 6:14. It says that they have superficially healed our wounds, superficially, because it's not real. And they say peace, peace, when there is no peace, and there is no peace. The truth is Israel's being sucked into and lulled into, and I'm talking about the people, because I believe most of our political higher echelon, including the Prime Minister, are involved in a plot and a plan that ultimately will be the demise of Israel. At least that's their plan. They don't understand and they don't believe. But they don't understand that God, the one that established this land, the one that said this land is mine, doesn't belong to any people. He's allowed Israel to live here. He's given it to Israel as a residence. But he makes it clear in Leviticus that we're tenants, we're not owners. And tenants never have the right to sell a property because it's not theirs. And that's where we're at. But now there's been a call and public invitation to the Prime Minister of Israel to return back to the United States. And it'll probably take place, from what I hear, between December 28th and 31st. And the purpose for this meeting has not been made public, but it's all the innuendo would suggest that it's now phase 2 needs to be implemented. And what's phase 2 is that Israel will withdraw even further back from what they call the yellow line and allow a foreign military, which from right now, all of the candidates being proposed are all from Islamic countries like Turkey and Egypt and Jordan and God knows all the different places. And so what's really happening now is they're hoping that this ceasefire, which has never taken place, are daily attacks on the IDF every day. There's no ceasefire. It's the media has been ordered to tone it all down, keep this thing quiet. Let's have the appearance of some kind of peace. If ever Jeremiah 6:14 was being fulfilled in its completeness, we're there right now. And it's important. This is not for intrigue. It's important that we be praying. Can we stop? If we've entered that final phase, that period of tribulation, where God's judgment is now coming on the earth, and he's allowing the players to come into place so their judgments may be served up to them, and we're not going to stop what's happening. It's not that we're wiser or greater than God. He's perfect in his wisdom, and I trust him completely. But we can and we have a call to intercede for mercy, for the lives of people that could be spared, for the lives of those who are lost right now and need to know Messiah Yeshua, that there still be a window of time for us to reach them with the gospel. But as far as that coming judgment and God's reckoning with wicked men and Satan, it looks like it's underway. And that's why in June of this year, God made it clear to me. He said, stop looking at what wicked men are doing and start looking at what I'm doing. And using the Word of God, it's the only way. And it makes it clear that he is doing things that are drawing the hatred of men forward towards Israel, towards Jerusalem specifically. And the intent ultimately is Zechariah 12:9, where God's going to move in judgment and destruction of nations. And right now the United States is at the top of that list. And it's not no joke, it's quite serious. And the results will be very deadly. So, in 2006, when Israel withdrew from Lebanon in a war there was a deal made that they would withdraw and that a multinational task force would come in. And it set a precedent for the Middle East. And that's what's happening now. We're seeing another phase. Only this time we're not stepping back from land that we were using as a buffer zone in Lebanon. We're actually stepping back and surrendering sovereign land that God has given as a place of tenancy to Israel. We have no right to surrender it. And Israel will pay dearly as well, not just the United States and these foreign entities. Israel will. And I'm praying that people will hear what I'm saying and it will help provoke people to prayer. Because not that we're going to stop what has been recorded prophetically. That's destined to happen. And it's made clear. We're not told which nations will be destroyed in that time of God's judgment and wrath. But we're told that nations will be destroyed for coming against the integrity of Israel and Jerusalem. And that's exactly what Donald Trump's doing right now. And Benjamin Netanyahu's very much cooperative in it all. And they need our prayers. They need our prayers. And that'll give us the peace to be able to rest in what God is doing. Because what man is doing and what Satan is doing through men is something only he can deal with. And we, through prayer, can actually make an influence. And so we're seeing this phase 2 come. And what phase 2 is Israel will begin to withdraw even more, even though we're still under attack. And a foreign entity, Turkey, wants to be one of those nations that comes in and begins to govern our land that God has put us here as tenants over. And it's going to lead to something very terrible. And so it's time to pray like never before and get in the Word. Get into Zechariah, into Revelation 11. One of the videos I did recently talked about how the possibility that we actually entered in to the beginning of the tribulation, the 7-year tribulation period. And the first half of that is not necessarily filled with turmoil. that we've entered in that on October the 13th. Have a look at that previous article if you want. It's in the archives of my website. And I think we've entered into a very critical time. It's not time to give up at all. Now's the time to stand and be exactly who God's called us to be. And so as a watchman here in Jerusalem, I just want to admonish you to pray and to rejoice, because Yeshua said, when you see these things begin to happen, look up, look up. Your redemption is coming. And it's figurative right now, but there's coming a day when, as we're looking up, especially in the spirit right now, and one day it will come, we'll look up in the natural, and we're going to see him coming in the clouds. So, yeah, just be aware and pray, because we've entered a very critical season. Shalom, shalom from Jerusalem.